So good day everyone. My name is Jandisher Mangal from BSc3 Bravo, and my topics is all about the human rights, the basic characteristics of human rights, and the Miranda Doctrine. So first, what is human rights? So human rights are fundamental rights inherent to all human beings, regardless of race, sex, nationality, ethnicity, language, religion, or other status. So these are the basic examples of characteristics of human rights. So we all know that human rights are essential for ensuring dignity, freedom, and justice for all individuals. They provide a framework for addressing inequalities and injustices, promoting a world everyone can live free from oppression and discrimination. The ongoing struggle for human rights requires vigilance, advocacy, and commitment from individuals, communities, and governments. So first, basic characteristics of human rights are universality. Human rights apply to everyone, everywhere, regardless of their background or location. So this means that a person living in the Philippines has the same fundamental rights as someone living in the United States. So in real life, these rights are including the rights to education, the right to speech, right to life, right to fair trial, freedom of religion, and so on. Second is, human rights are inherent to all human beings. So this means that these rights are not granted by any government or authority. They are not earned, bestowed, or acquired. They are simply a natural part of being a human. The word inherent means something that is a natural, essential, or inseparable part of something else. It's like a built-in quality that can't be removed or separated. Freedom of thoughts, conscience, and religion. So the example of this is when a person chooses to practice a minority religion or to hold unconventional beliefs, even if it means facing social pressure or discriminations. This inherent right allows individuals to think freely and hold their own beliefs without fear of persecution. The freedom from torture. Example, a police officer refuses to use excessive force on a suspect, even under pressure, because the inherent right to freedom from torture prohibits cruel or degrading treatment. This applies regardless of the crime committed or the suspect's background. So the number 3 is human rights are fundamental. So human rights are not optional extras. They are the very foundation upon which a just and equitable society is built. Without them, individuals cannot thrive and societies cannot flourish. Number 4, inalienable. Human rights cannot be taken away or given up. They are inherent to our humanity and cannot be traded or forfeited. And for 5th, indivisible. All human rights are equally important and interdependent. You can't have one without the others. For example, the right to education is interconnected to the right to health. And 6, imprescriptible. Human rights are imprescriptible because they are not subject to this legal principle. They cannot be lost simply because someone doesn't exercise them or because a government tries to take them away. For example, a person right to freedom from torture. A person imprisoned for a crime still retains the right to freedom from torture, even if they have been incarcerated for decades. This right cannot be extinguished by passage of time or by any act of the government. Any attempt to inflict torture on a prisoner, regardless of their crime or sentence, would be a violation of their imprescriptible right. And number 7, human rights are interdependent, meaning they are interconnected and rely on each other. One right cannot be fully realized without the others. It's like a web where each strand is connected and supports the others. So the classification of rights. Rights are fundamental, entitlements that individuals possess. Shaping the relationship between individuals, society, and the government, understanding how rights are classified helps us grasp their nature and importance. One is natural rights. These rights are God-given rights acknowledged by everyone to be morally good, unwritten but prevails as norms of the society. They are not granted by any government or institutions, but are considered universal and inalienable, meaning even if it is unwritten but as to the norms of society, it must be followed. For example, helping an elder person to lift heavy bags or helping others just to show empathy, that is example of unwritten but it is morally good. Second is constitutional rights, conferred and protected by the Constitution and which cannot modify or taken away by the lawmaking body. Examples are freedom of speech, religion, freedom of assembly, and the right to equality. And last, statutory rights. Statutory rights are the rights that are based on laws or statutes that have been passed by a government. They can apply to employment, criminal, and other areas of life. Examples of these rights are employment, the right to be paid fairly, work a safe number of hours and not face discrimination, criminal, the right to be presumed innocent, to have a fair trial, and to know the charges against you. And the last topic is the Miranda Doctrine. So, the Miranda Doctrine means that prior to questioning during custodial investigations, the person must be warned that he has the right to remain silent, that any statement he gives may be used as evidence against him, and that he has the right to be to the presence of an attorney, either retained or appointed. Imagine a scene where someone arrested. The police can't just start asking questions right away. They have to read the suspect's the right first. This is called the Miranda warning. So here's what the Miranda warning says. You have the right to remain silent. So this means you don't have to answer any questions. So anything you say can and will be used against you in court. Your words can be used as evidence to prove you're guilty. You have the right to an attorney. You can have a lawyer present during questioning. If you can't afford one, the court will appoint a lawyer for you. So why is this doctrine is important? So the Miranda Doctrine protects people's rights. It makes sure that suspects understand their rights before they talk to the police. This helps to prevent people from making incriminating statements without knowing the consequences. So that's all for my part. Thank you.